2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R is absolutely insane. This bike has no chill. The 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R doesn't try to be polite, subtle, or universally loved, and that's exactly why it still terrifies the cruiser world. In an era where motorcycles are becoming quieter, softer, and increasingly filtered through electronics, Suzuki looks everyone dead in the eye and unleashes a machine that feels like it was built to scare you just a little. This bike doesn't whisper progress or hint at refinement, it roars raw intent. From the first glance to the first throttle twist, the M109R makes one thing clear. This motorcycle exists to dominate, not to negotiate. Visually, the 2026 M109R looks like it escaped from a muscle car factory rather than a motorcycle design studio. Everything about it is oversized, exaggerated, and unapologetically aggressive. The massive front forks, the impossibly wide rear tire, the low-slung stance, it all screams brute force. This isn't a cruiser that blends into a lineup of chrome and leather. This is a predator parked among commuters. Even standing still, the M109R looks like it's ready to launch forward, daring anyone nearby to underestimate it. When the engine fires, all doubts disappear instantly. The heartbeat of the Boulevard M109R is a monstrous V-twin that doesn't care about trends or delicate refinement. It delivers power the old-school way, with displacement, torque, and attitude. Every pulse feels heavy, mechanical, and alive. The sound alone separates this bike from nearly everything else on the road. It's not just loud, it's deep, authoritative, and intimidating. The kind of exhaust note that makes conversations stop mid-sentence when you roll past. Twist the throttle, and the M109R reveals its true personality. This bike doesn't build speed politely. It lunges forward with violence that catches even experienced riders off guard. The torque hits hard and early, pulling relentlessly and refusing to let go. This isn't a motorcycle you rev out for fun. It's one you ride on torque alone, surfing a wave of power that feels endless. Every stoplight becomes a temptation. Every open stretch of road becomes a challenge to your self-control. What shocks most people is how stable the M109R feels while delivering this kind of force. Suzuki didn't just bolt a massive engine into a frame and hope for the best. The chassis feels solid, planted, and confidence-inspiring, especially in straight-line acceleration where this bike feels nearly unstoppable. The wide rear tire digs into the pavement like it was designed to punish asphalt, giving you traction that feels more like a drag bike than a cruiser. On the highway, the 2026 Boulevard M109R becomes a weapon of effortless domination. Roll-on power is immediate, passing traffic feels optional, and cruising speeds come so easily that you have to constantly check yourself. The bike doesn't feel strained or frantic, it feels like it's barely waking up. This is where the M109R thrives, devouring distance with minimal effort and maximum attitude, reminding you that power doesn't need to be complicated to be effective. Comfort on the M109R is surprisingly honest. This bike isn't pretending to be a luxury tourer, but it's also not punishing. The seating position locks you into the bike, making you feel like part of the machine rather than a passenger on top of it. The low seat height adds confidence, especially at stops, while the forward controls reinforce the aggressive cruiser posture. Long rides feel engaging rather than exhausting, provided you understand what this bike is and isn't meant to be. Technology on the 2026 M109R stays intentionally restrained, and that's part of its appeal. This isn't a motorcycle cluttered with screens, menus, and riding modes that dilute the experience. The focus stays on the engine, the throttle, and the rider's connection to the road. What tech exists is there to support the ride, not dominate it. In a world obsessed with digital everything, the M109R feels refreshingly mechanical, almost rebellious. The reactions this bike gets are immediate and emotional. Some riders call it excessive, others call it outdated, but just as many call it one of the last true muscle cruisers still alive. People don't casually admire the M109R, they react to it. It sparks arguments online, draws crowds at bike nights, and makes riders question what they really want from a motorcycle. Love it or hate it, indifference is not an option. What makes the Boulevard M109R truly special in 2026 is how little it compromises its identity. Suzuki hasn't tried to turn it into something else. They haven't softened its edges or diluted its character to appeal to everyone. Instead, they've doubled down on what made it legendary: massive displacement, brutal torque, unmistakable styling, and a riding experience that feels raw and unfiltered. On late-night rides, when the roads are empty and the city lights blur past, the M109R feels almost surreal. The engine pulses beneath you like a living thing, the bike feels heavy in the best possible way, and every throttle input feels consequential. This isn't a motorcycle you ride passively, it demands respect, attention, and restraint. And in return, it delivers an experience that feels increasingly rare in modern motorcycling. The 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R doesn't chase luxury, technology, or mass appeal. It chases adrenaline, presence, and dominance. It's built for riders who want to feel power physically, who want their motorcycle to intimidate a little, and who aren't interested in blending in. This is not a beginner's bike, not a compromise bike, and definitely not a safe choice. In a market filled with refined tourers, polished baggers, and increasingly sanitized cruisers, the M109R stands as a reminder of what muscle motorcycles were always meant to be. Loud, heavy, powerful, unapologetic. It doesn't care about awards or approval. It exists for a specific kind of rider, the kind who values torque over tech, presence over polish, and emotion over efficiency. The 2026 Boulevard M109R is not trying to be the future of cruising. It's protecting its past while still punching forward with brute force. And for the riders who understand that, who crave something raw in a refined world, this motorcycle doesn't just make sense, it feels necessary.